everyone, and welcome to the podcast by Astitva Prakashan. Today we have Dr. Palto Datta with us, the author of Sayoni's Dream. A warm welcome, sir.
Yes. Very good morning from London.
Okay. I would like to introduce you in a few words to our viewers and readers. Dr. Datta is a renowned academic author and researcher with over 27 years of experience in UK future and further higher education sectors. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Shakshi. Shakshi. Shall I call you Shakshi? Yeah.
Zinia.
Genia. Okay. Genia, yes.
So first of all, I would love to congratulate you to release the book.
Thank you.
Sir, what is the response? Shall we start the meeting?
So, is it already started recording? Yes, you can start. Yeah.
Yes, it's recording, sir.
Please go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, sir. So, what are the responses you are getting, sir, by the readers?
Quite a lot, Genia. It has been published just less than 3 weeks. So I can see that people from Canada, USA, UK, even Bangladesh, they're talking about the book. I think many of my friends, they're so, astonished that I wrote a book about neurodiverse situation in Bangladesh, about autism. So, which is very new phenomenon in the context of Bangladesh and beyond, especially when I'm talking about the Southeast Asia. So, so far, we haven't seen any books on the topic. So response is huge. So people now talk about it, talk about autism, talk about the context, talk about the different, that biasness we have, stigmatization we have, and confusion or misconception about this, the uniqueness. I say that is the beauty. That someone told me that autism is not something bad. Autism is good, love. And that's something very interesting. Someone said, yes, response is quite good.
So, very congratulations on the book, sir. Sir, how would you explain your book in just simple words to our readers or viewers?
If I say just one line, this is all about a girl, her dream, her aspirations that world will accept the problem, obstacle, and challenges she's facing as being neurodiverse individual.
Okay, sir.
People,
yes, sir.
People will accept her with great empathy, with great love, and she feels that love is the only way the people can connect, communicate, and stay in the race.
Sure, sir. Sure. Sir, how did you decide the title of the book?
It's, you can say, by an accident, not planned. I was greatly motivated by a very young boy who was my grandson when I was traveling, I think 2 years back to Bangladesh. And I asked my grandson, can you tell me whether you have or you faced any issues, social issues while you were at school? So he told me a very fascinating story about him. And I was listening very carefully, and he was subjected to bullying at school, not only by the students or fellow students, but also sometimes tutors. And then I listened carefully. It remains within me quite a while. And then I asked him, can you tell me what types of books the people like your age will like? What types of narrative do you think? Because I would like to write something for the young people. especially for that particular audience. We always write for adult audience, for different audience, but you will see, I'm not talking about the Western countries, but the countries such as Bangladesh, you don't have quite lots of creative work for the young audience. So I told him, can you just tell me or advise me the type of books I should write? Uh, then he told me, he just was so prompt and straightforward. He asked me to write a narrative about a young, he didn't mention boy or girl, about a young child who has the severe disability problems. So means he told me um, the type of, the stigmatization, the type of misconceptions about the disabled students have by the society. So then I thought this quite interesting. I have some of my friends living in the UK, even US, in Bangladesh. Their children are autistic.
Okay.
Even some children came to my house in London. I saw the nature of autism, the type of problem they're facing, and the parents told me heartbreaking, that the incidents or experiences they're facing every day. So then I started, when I came back to London, I thought that I should write something about autism. I never had a good understanding. So what I started to do, study about autism, its challenges, obstacle, and how society perceive the autistic children. I had, the discussion with more than 15, 16 parents who have their autistic child, the everyday life struggle they're facing. So I had to have some discussion with some doctors, professionals, healthcare professionals. I think I met more than 20 healthcare professionals and the doctors to understand
Yes.
autism. Then I read many articles. I became a member of autistic associations to receive the journals. So to have the broader understanding, what they like, what they don't like, how they communicate to the inner world, outer world, and how they perceive their emotions, their motivations, their behavior, and so on. So then I thought that, okay, a gown, I'm going to choose a gown around 11, 12 years because context is Bangladesh. And you can see the family is very rich. So they have the different behavioral patterns. And so I thought that as she cannot communicate, as she's not perceived positively by her friends, the relatives, even the family, her communication normally with the nature, especially animals. So I thought that I'll give a name. So Sayoni came up. I think I had a student's name Sayoni, so it just came up. That I'll give a Sayoni's dream. So she got only one dream, that people only will accept her. So how the
Okay,
name
sir.
came up.
Okay, sir. Sir, can you say us more about one memorable moment from the interactions with the children with autism or their families,
Oh,
which
very
motivated you to
interesting.
write this book?
Let me tell my own experience. I had a very close friend. This is the first time I encountered with his boy. I think that time he was around 8. So he came to my house with his parents. Suddenly he popped in my office in my library and suddenly said, "Uncle, what's your name?" I said, "This is my name." And suddenly he said, "What's the meaning of this name?" I said, "I don't know. Actually, I don't know the meaning of my name." And he said, "Who gave this name?" I said, "My parents." "Why are they?" That he was continuously probing and asking questions one after another. And you can you see the image, photographs of
Curiosity.
Elizabeth? So he
Yeah.
came to me that office. He said, "Are you a friend of Queen?" I said, "No." "So how did you get this?" So he was asking continuously that question. So then I asked his father, "What's when? Why is asking?" Then his father told me the story that he got autistic problem, and he
Okay.
got problem also at his school. So even the tutors sometimes get angry. The students and his peers are getting angry, and he's bullied even in the UK. That where there is a diversity and inclusions. So this is how I started to notice. So this is the great moment why I thought if it is in the UK, that type of situation, what it could be in the context of Bangladesh. That I had a number of friends and they have autistic child, and they're facing problem in terms of school because we don't have special needs school in Bangladesh. Even there are some facilities now, but it is mainly urbanized areas. So if you go to the villages or semi-urban locations, you will see that even people don't know. People think this is a disease, or people think this is maybe some sort of, that different types of issues, and they don't accept them as a normal child.
Okay.
I thought that I should take this social issue and bring something and write something.
Okay, sir. So, what do you want your readers to take away from your book? Like in
Very
what?
simple. The that obviously you understand when you write something, you have audience in mind. So my audience primarily the childrens, because who goes to school, parents, and the school teachers. That and of course the any other adults. So message is not just to create awareness about autism, but to understand that autism is a beauty. Autism means resilience. Autism means something unique.
Yes, sir.
They have their own emotions, but they
Yes,
sometimes cannot express. So people should connect with them with empathy, with love, and very informal way as normal child. So just to
sure.
change the behavioral patterns of the society, that this is gift, this is the diversity, this is the uniqueness, and inclusions within the society is paramount. So this is the core message.
Sure, sir. Sir, how do you manage your time with your writing and your professional field?
I think this is the
Like,
same questions people are saying. Even my students, my colleagues are saying, that
I personally am curious about it because you have
you
a
can
vast
see,
background of academic
true.
career. So,
I think that I was attending um, the great that lecture by a rishi from India. Then she said, "Never ever say I'm busy."
okay,
So we have 24 hours. It's all down to the discipline, punctuality, and plan you have. So that we have not only me, my and my wife too. We always work very early. So she's also that working full time. I also work full time. Plus, you can say there are many things, not only as at the university level, but also in terms of publishing. I'm at the moment editor in chief for 2 international journals, guest editor for one journal, the conference chair for 3 international conferences. I travel a lot, that virtually every month I travel. So all these are happening, but my writing is like as my prayer, that I always work 6 o'clock and 7 to 8:30, 1 hour, I must write. So if I don't write a day, I don't feel good. I think the writing, that particular moment is very much a spiritual healing for me. So this is, normally we sometimes spend time on gossiping and many things. This morning time, that we normally don't spend on productive issues. So I thought that, okay, 7 to 8:30 or 7:30 to 8:30 is the best time. So if you think that 1 or 1.5 hour means you spend more than 12 hours every week, isn't it? So that's I spend. Wherever I go, I spend that hour. This question is managing time. That's all.
okay, sir. So, how do you came under writing? Like you have an academic background and professional as well. So, how did you end up writing?
I used to write from my childhood. I remember
Okay.
my first the poem published in a newspaper when I was year 8. Okay.
Oh my.
Since then I used to write. I used to write a poem. Even I used to write lyrics. And then when I was in Moscow, I was the frequent contributors. You can see the monthly contributors of different magazines. I'm sure that you know that time during the Soviet period, there are two journals produced by that USSR. One is Soviet Nari, the
Yes,
Soviet women's. That was very popular and
yes, yes, yes,
distributed worldwide. Another was Udayon, that is both in Bengali, even Hindi in different languages. So
yes,
I used to contribute. And obviously, that when we are contributing, we used to get quite a large amount of money because we used to get as a scholarship, when I was in Moscow. And writing one article, you get more than monthly scholarship. So that's become hobby to write, that. But then when I came back 1989, the early 90s to UK, still continued, but I think these continuations, everyday's writing habits, I developed for the last, you can say, 15 years. So 15 years I've been writing frequently. My first poetry book published 1997 in Bangladesh. Since then, I didn't publish any book. So my English publication, I wrote a few English books. One was Brexit. We are
okay,
doomed. Brexit revisited. That was one of the book. Even that book recommended by UK government as one of the top 30 books on Brexit. So it
okay.
has wide circulation. And then I started to, because I'm writing as a columnist, a number of daily newspapers. So I thought that why not combine some of those articles, the best articles, and publish. So since 2017, number of books have been published, both in Bengali and English. Now, that I'm just continuously writing, and the next two projects are coming soon. Sometimes solo writing, sometimes with some other colleagues, especially
So,
my research and academic writings. My creative writing, of course, this is solo.
so how do you came into creative writing when you were more into professional, like you wrote about business, about marketing, and everything? How do you come into literature actually to speak?
I think creative is not something different. Everyone is creative in this world to some extent. You see that people has the emotions, motivations, aspirations to express something. When people see the nature, beauty, you don't tell them what does it mean that people can express from their inner self. So I don't know whether it is creative or not. My intention was just to write, just to express what I see, what I feel, um, the way I see things. Just only one thing that maybe the people see different way. I have the different angle to see the nature, the sky, the moon, the trees, the people behaviors, and so on. So my intention just express in a way that audience will have better understanding what I try to say. That I try to use less jargons. People are saying, okay, when you are writing poetry, make sure that people should not understand. Use the abstract. I said that I can't use it. So I use the less abstract rather than, because I happen to believe that one of the greatest things when we are dealing with the audience, how to communicate and connect with the audience. What is the best languages we can use? So that's how it's come within me, without understanding whether it is creative or not. I just write.
So, sir, what was the reaction of your families and friends when you started writing? Or as you said, as you wrote an article at the age of 8. What
I
was
think
their reaction?
I think the greatest support, that my wife, any Bengali writings I write, any Bengali writings I write. I think for the last 10 years, there is nothing that she didn't go through. So I write a draft, I do the draft, and I send to her. She edit it. So you can see the whole Sayoni. And previously, I published another book about that about the situation in Moscow that time, 90 early the mid 80s to the late 80s. So everything, even when I write for for journals and newspapers, she go through. So my inspiration, motivation, and support from my wife, very close. Otherwise, you can see she knows. Even my children knows. Morning means my dad or my husband is going to sit down in his office and write. Sometimes she said, "Why you can't sleep more?" So I think the family, without family support, you can't do much. This is the mutuality understanding and supporting each other. And my family members in Bangladesh, always they read the comments, they like, and they feel, there's something different that I'm writing. They always encourage and inspire me to write. Even this time when I went, I came just 2 3 days back from back home. So
Yeah.
even they're giving some ideas. When I sit down, okay, give me some ideas, tell me the stories. And I feel that there are many thousands of stories around me. Just you need to pick them up and convert such a way as a storytelling and just communicate with the audience. So inspiration is quite a lot.
So, sir, would you give any advice to the families or the children, those who are directly related to autism, about support and acceptance? What would you say?
Only one thing I would say that autism is not the condition of fixed. This is the condition of the natural process. Autism means, if you look at that, I use the fireflies and lizard. Fireflies actually bringing lights from darkness. And the Sayoni was so astonished looking at the ants, the tiny ants. And she learned about the resilience, how strong they are, that their mindset. And the lizard always adapt with the environment. So I always say that anyone who has autistic child, they must treat them as normal child, but with care, with love, that with the affection, and with the with in mind that autism something is beauty, resilience, and uniqueness. And they should have that. When you have that such uniqueness, neurodiverse situation within the context or within the family, that add extra the how I can say the extra elements to bring peace and harmony, but you need to treat them with care. That's all. Don't hate them. You know that they are so good, they are so powerful. They have the
Absolutely.
huge potential. And society must accept them as part of
They are.
diversity and inclusion.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. So, could you please recommend us any three of your books that you would say that yes, these are the books you should read or go through?
I think I wrote
As
a
young,
book. I wrote a book. You know that in the West, there is always the red line. I wrote a number of articles about war in Ukraine and Russia. Um, I wrote a novel about a girl who struggled during her 6 7 years in London and sorry, in Moscow, and that's the time between 1987 to 1991 when we have seen the huge changes in Soviet Union. This is just before the disintegration. I think that people, if they read this book, they have a better understanding about Russia, because there's a misconception or wrong conception about Russia. There's a better understanding that society, the way the society moved and unfolded the different situations during this time, especially Gorbachev era. So I would recommend that book. Another book, which I wrote in English, We Are Doomed, Brexit Revisited. To have the better, it is not all about whether I support Brexit or not support Brexit. This is all about what's happened during 2016 to 2020, these 4 years, the reactions, the emotions of the people. So we have just, captured the every week's some of the emotions, incidents during Brexit period. So these two books surely I would like to recommend people to read.
okay, sir. So, what was the hardest part in writing? Like, what was the most difficult part you found in writing?
To start, when you have when we have some idea to start with, where to start. So I think that's all. But the time you start writing, you just flow. There is a flow. You just writing it. That. So what I do, sometimes you are thinking, especially, I'm always thinking that how I can start something. So I don't sit down and think. Rather, I go out, maybe walk on the road or in a park, and then think, and something come up, that I start writing. As I said, starting is the biggest part. Otherwise, when you write, and then it's okay. And also planning, that I think once you have the plan, sometimes plan can change. It's just like that I would like to go to Delhi by plane, and you have the route, but sometimes it can be changed. So I think this is the biggest part.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. What would be an advice you would love to give writers, those who want to start writing or those who are writing?
I would like to say, just please write. Now, when you say that the young children study, 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 I would say write anything you have. We can see every day many things is happening. You are living in the UK, going through the underground or taking buses or walking on the road. You will see both sides, front and back, left and right. Many things are happening. Some people can capture those things. Some people has the much better observations. So I would like to say just write, and then it will give you the flow. People nowadays, you will see that two things they don't want to do: read serious book and also write something. So they love to write something for the social media, but not for their own other people interest. I think only advice is please write. Write something.
Yes. So, what if we lack motivation while writing? There are some times when we don't get any idea, or we don't know what to write next, or how to keep going forward. What would you say about that? What to
Only
do?
one thing, I say that we don't have any problems. As individual in the world, we don't have any problem. Especially, I would like to say that Indian subcontinent or Southeast Asian children or people. So what is the biggest problem we have? That we don't have a dream or aspirations. I think that is lacking. And to have a clear dream, or to have the courage to do mistakes, or to have the courage not to be thwarted by any negative feelings or emotions, the family should support them to have the growth mindset. Okay, this is the only things why we don't get the motivation. If you look at that 1946 book by Frankl, A Man's Search of Meaning, so the time we know that we have a meaning to live, we have meaning to survive, we have meaning in life, they'll be automatically motivated. But I think most of the people who don't get that meaning, the dream and aspiration.
So, what is the most surprising thing you found about yourself while writing, or you discovered it while you were writing?
Say again, I'm sorry. I think I missed the first part.
Yes. Sir, I want to ask you that what was the most surprising thing you found about yourself or you discovered while writing your book?
Uh, I think
Great. Yeah.
that I'm writing a book now. I wanted to create, that in the Bangladeshi context or even Indian context, this is part of our culture, customs and taboos, that elder brother always seen as father for other brothers, isn't it? So it
Independent
is a role
person.
model. So
Yes, sir.
I wanted to create a character of elder brother, very interesting way. Even without having any education, I would like to portray that he's the best educator in the society with a great wisdom. So when I was writing, somehow, of course, um, a few weeks I could not write. Something happened, and then I had to change the direction of the character, bringing another character into it. So sometimes this happened. You have the plan to move on with something writing, but when you start writing or the middle of the writing, it forces you to change the directions and create other character. It's happened.
So you now your book is live now. So what would you suggest someone who is going to publish or want to publish their book?
You know that many people, I think many people are asking even me how they can publish. I think many people don't know the why they can publish. Not only the why they can publish, but most effective and efficient way to have the distribution. One of the biggest problem is the marketing. You know that you publish, like when I publish in Bangladesh, we don't see too much distribution or too much, the promotions, the marketing aspect on it. But I frankly say that that your publications did enormous job. I think I made a huge review. The process is very rigorous. The process is very smooth. It seems that multilateral connectivity there. The things are happening one after another. So my advice to other people: find out the best publisher, and they'll take them. They'll take them. That's somewhere. I think this important thing is that best publisher. How we define the best. So this is the one things I would like to advise people: find out the good publisher and who will do the rest of the job.
Thank you, sir. So how did you find the publishing company? Was it difficult to find, or did you went through different publishing companies or publishing house, and then you came to Astitva Prakashan?
I think my last response is to find out some of the elements. It is difficult. Now, because I have published more than 11, 12 books, different times with the different publications. But I was a bit disappointed with many publications. Just only you see that books and book fair, but then people don't have the access via online because most of my friends are living around the world. So if you publish a book in Bangladesh and the books are available only within Bangladesh, so this is a bit disappointed, isn't it? So other people, they don't have the access. Then suddenly, obviously, I discovered about you. I read it, and believe me, I think I had a long discussion with some of your colleagues. It's a wonderful job they have done. I was not expecting. I think, what we are saying in marketing, that always need to understand the people's demand. But I felt that you are creating demand for the people, that so they should take it. So that was really, really quite interesting in the experience. And you'll see that I'll just continuously publish and I'll recommend people to come with a good publisher like you. That's most important.
Yes, sir. That was our honor having you with us. Sir, I would love to know about your next project. Do you have something you are excited for next projects or books or
Number of
research?
project, linear number of project. At the moment now, if you look at the academic line, we have taken two projects for the last. One was for the since last year, so it's no, since 2023. So it is
Okay.
now 2 years that project. This is octagon of scaling mantras. So myself and my colleague, he's also a senior lecturer, we took the decision back and forth, communication with both of us. And there is a octagon means eight
Yes.
mantras. So what we did,
Okay.
this book project is quite interesting. This is a octagon of scaling mantras, means how organization, even individual, how they can scale up. A community, how they can scale up. That is society, nations, and obviously the organization, how they can scale up. So what we did, we scan actually the various religious school of thought, Hinduism, Islam, Buddhism, Jainism, and Christianity. So because most of the time you read books based on the organizational experience, but we don't take sometimes the spirituality and the religious mindset. So we thought that why not? Let's scan this and see what are the mantras we can get and what is happening in the West at the moment when they're scaling up their businesses. So we have identified 8 mantras. So 8 mantras mean 8 chapters. Then other areas. So we finished 6 chapters, another 2 chapters. I think we are planning to, this book will publish from you. I'm sure that will publish the way
Thank
you
you,
are.
sir.
So this is one of the project. Another project, myself and another my colleague professor in Canada, that is all
Yes.
about education system. We are trying to develop a educational model um, which is based on moral education. So lens. That so book is all about an education, higher education model. So that is what we are doing. We are scanning actually the Greek philosophical doctrine on education. That part is complete now, and second part we're going to focus on the Indian philosophical doctrine on education. Then we'll go to the that medieval the doctrine. So we're going to scan the old the various models of education, then we'll look at the contemporary models of education, and then we'll develop our own model of education. So we have the idea. So that book should be completed by end of this year. So this is the two project in English, and my obviously my another that I was telling about elder brother. So this book should be completed by August. I think it is halfway through, which I'm writing and publishing every week in a newspaper. So a newspaper actually accepted the episodes to be published. So that is coming, and then same time my other book, I think 4 books will be ready. I'm just finalizing a manuscript on education and society. This is in English. So I think I told one of your colleagues that this book to be submitted by end of either April or May. So quite a number of books are coming. So, when you write every day little bit, so you
Yes.
produce quite a lot. You don't need to write too much every day, just little bit. Then you'll see one day you have quite voluminous writing, isn't it? So these are some of the quite exciting projects.
So now I am more excited than you for your books and your writing.
Thank you.
Because there
Thank
are
you,
numerous
Jane.
and there are variety of projects you have been working through. So
True.
that's really great. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you,
So
Genia. Thank you.
thank you so much for thank you so
Thank
much.
you
We are so
for
happy
the
to have you.
time. Thank you so much. Thank you. Take care.
Yes,
Have a
sir.
nice day. Bye. Bye.
Sure, sir. Have a nice day, you too.